If you're an experienced rider, this episode is not going to be for you. But if you just bought your first big adventure bike and you went online to find some friends and some new mates to ride off-road, you upgraded your tires because you realized your tires or your street tires were not that good in the dirt, and you even took it a step above. You went and you got some adventure riding classes with a proper adventure riding school. Is that enough? That's exactly what we're going to be debating today on this episode of T2Wide.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Got an adventure bike. Great, good for you, welcome to the team. Now you need to start learning how to take the most out of it, and you did good. You went online, exactly as we talked about in the last episode, going to be linked up there. You went online, you found riding companionship, and that's great. That means you're going to go off-road more often. Most likely, if you haven't yet upgraded your tires, that's going to happen sooner or later. You're going to find yourself in places where the traction is just missing. So you're gonna end up going with a 50-50 tire, or if you're more dirt oriented, you're even gonna end up with something a bit more aggressive. That's great, that's exactly what it should be done. Then you're gonna realize you need to learn more. So you're gonna go and you're gonna buy off-road big bike school days, or well, whatever they're selling. But it's good, it's great, and you should do them, you really should. But is there enough? Is it enough? That's my question, and I honestly don't think it is. And this is why. No, I'm not saying by any means that big adventure bike schools are bad. Not at all. That's why I keep saying you should go and you should have some classes. There's guys like Rawhide, they do a magnificent job. There are schools from BMW all over the world, and I'm saying this because I do believe that they have been doing a great job in teaching big adventure bikes. But out of my experience, when you're learning in good adventure bike schools, even if you're using your own bike, there's always something that doesn't allow you to learn more. Mainly because you're afraid to drop your bike. And it's not because you're afraid to hurt yourself, you're literally afraid to hurt the bike. A blinker is what? $100? A side panel on a BMW 1200 or a new KTM is what? $500? No one wants to pay that for a little bit of fun. So you tend not to either apply the things you learn or not learn them well enough. These bikes, they're not gonna break as easy as ours do when we're doing off-road and you drop them. The lever is pretty much the only thing that can break on these bikes, and we're not talking about $100. We're talking about what, maybe $20, $25, and you buy the pair, and you can't beat that, not in terms of learning. And once you learn the idea with these baby bikes, then it's easier to transport it to the big bike, especially if you already had a little bit of experience off-road, if you already know the things that are difficult for you to do on a big bike off-road, and if you already have a little bit of notion within the differences in power and weight. This learning with enduro bikes, after you had a little bit of adventure riding experience and possibly a little bit of adventure riding teaching, that's gonna help you a lot. Because what's difficult on bikes is going slow. Going slow requires technique. Technique requires learning, and learning requires crashing. Don't crash your big adventure bike. Crash these little baby things, then go out. I've been on large bikes all my learning curve. I never got the chance to learn a lot with small bikes and to try different things. And I really want to try small bikes. I really want to improve my technique and then transport that into big bikes. And why is this important for me? And I think that for all of us. Because this bike weighs almost as much as I remove in weight from my own bike. it's a completely different feeling, a completely different security that you get out of playing with something like this. And today, with this very experienced guy that can see what I'm doing wrong, because when I'm riding, sometimes I can understand what I'm doing wrong, sometimes I can't. It's so important to have someone that you can trust, that's gonna, well, just look at you and help you. That's a huge part of improvement, a huge part of continuing to grow as a rider. If you just got into adventure riding, or if you've been doing it for a few years like I have, and you feel comfortable with a big bike off-road, well, I advise you to do exactly what I did and I will continue to do, which is to come to a school like this with a teacher that understands very well what you're doing, understands very well why you're doing it, and it will allow you to mitigate certain things that you're doing wrong, increase a lot of the things that you're doing right or start to do right, and obviously that's going to allow you to, when you grab your big bike and you go out with your friends or you go out alone, it's going to allow you to be faster, it's going to allow you to be safer, and overall it's going to allow you to enjoy it a lot more.